What's good, everybody? What's good? What's good? What's good? How you doing on this Monday? What is it? Is it Monday? Yeah. I'm losing track of these days with this quarantine stuff going on, man. We just hear from the president. Another 30 days of quarantine won't be done until what? The end of April now, 1st of May now they're talking about. I'm really not tripping. I still feel like there's going to be an NFL season. I just feel like, they show a lot more negative stuff with this coronavirus. I believe it's real, but I feel like they show a lot more negative, and we can come back from this if people just listen and stop going all nutty about it. Um, I mean, even with that coronavirus out here, I think it's like 19. It's up to 1,900 cases out here and 35, 39 deaths. But most of the people that have died out here have been 58 to 93 years old. Most of it has been old age or obesity is one of the top things that they're saying people are dying with the coronavirus. Because if you had obesity, it gives you more complications with the breathing and things of that nature. So, and I also read a few things where it was saying about the coronavirus that if you, let's say you have asthma and you were asthmatic and then you had a coronavirus actually got in you with the asthma and you die, they were not gonna um, put it by asthma. They'll put it by more coronavirus. So they're kind of trying to list people. So I don't know, man. This whole thing is kind of crazy. Um, I don't know. Just people just need to listen. I feel like this will go away if people just listen and be normal. If people just be normal, I don't think this is like the bubonic plague. I don't think this is like the black plague. I don't feel like if you get this, you're just gonna die off. But people just need to listen and pay attention and do the right things, not be hoarders at the grocery stores, and just be normal. And this thing will go away and we'll go back to being normal. But people just gotta listen, man, and that's what people ain't doing. But hey, that's my two thoughts about that. What's good with y'all? 43 Flex, David Jenkins, Angel Day. Hey, what's going on with you? Andrew Rodriguez. What's up with you? John Jones, Tim Warner. How y'all doing today? I popped up real quick because I want to talk a little bit. I want to take a little bit of your time. Appreciate y'all jumping in here, listening with me, Silver and Blue Nation, Big Game James. But I want to talk about this 2019 draft class. I think me and Skywalker still talked about this 2019 draft class. I think we did a show about it maybe about 3 months ago, and we're talking about what the expectations are. But here's my thoughts about the 2019 class. When we're talking about the holes that the Cowboys were trying to fill in free agency, right? They went out there, did a show a couple days ago and talked about what do you guys think about the grades that they have with the free agents. They went out there and got a fat boy, Dontario Poe, 6'3", 345. He addressed the one tech position that they've been solely missing. I know they have Antoine Woods, but it looks like they have still not signed him, so there was a glaring need with that. They went and got a 3 tech to offset the loss of Malik Collins for the same amount of salary. A vested veteran and Gerald McCoy. They went and got out a safety to offset the loss of Heath, even though we're not crying about Jeff Heath leaving, but he was a solid player with the Cowboys. They went out and got a solid player who had success under Mike McCarthy and HaHa Dix. All right, they went out and got a cornerback, although it wasn't a big name guy, Maurice Kennedy, young guy, 25 years old. Looks like when he got some good opportunities, he makes some plays. He got some good length. I think he's a slept-on pick. Hey ho, John Jones with the $10 holler. I see you, John Jones. You just come with them $5 hollers. Come with them $10 hollers. Donation, donation, donation. Appreciate you, John Jones, for everything you do and the support you do for Silver and Blue Nation and the Big Game James. Love you, dog. But also, what I wanted to say, I mentioned they got a cornerback. Also, they went out and got a tight end, Blake Bell, blocking tight end that they needed. They already got the receiving tight end that they signed for 3 years, and Blake Jarwin. They're trying to put him as the man, so they want to get a blocking tight end. You can still look in free agency or later in the draft with a tight end, but you addressed that as well. So you got a lot of things that they did look at as far as that. And they can never be whacked. You feel me? But we're gonna talk about that, Andrew Rodriguez. I'm gonna mention those guys to you. But when we're talking about those, we feel better about the free agency than we did because they addressed some needs, and you can still point to the draft. But everybody's talking about the 2020 draft. The 2020 draft. Are they gonna go for a Chasen? Are they gonna go for a Delpit? Are they gonna go for McKinney? Are they gonna CD Lamb is being talked about? Jerry Judy. All these scenarios. Could they trade back, trade up? All these scenarios about what the 2020 draft can help them with. Those guys have not stepped foot on the NFL turf at all, right? So you're still taking a projection, okay? Just like you would be taking a projection for the 2019 class, but you just don't know when you draft these players if they're going to actually do it on the field. You're taking a great guess because of what you've seen productive-wise, but you still don't know. But why are we throwing away this 2019 class? Because this 2019 class had a lot of high marks when the Cowboys had it. It just had a big mass incomplete. But the Cowboys really need the 2019 draft. Hey ho, $5 holla. Let me speak up a little bit. Sorry about that. 43 Flex. Appreciate you, your work, my God. Thank you. Appreciate you. But let's talk about that. It's almost like we're throwing our 2019 draft away. And I said last year that, man, when you look at that draft, it looks like a big, fat incomplete. But now, more than ever, this 2019 draft is going to be very important for the Dallas Cowboys. And here's why. And now listen to what I'm saying. Please listen to what I'm saying. Don't jump off the deep end and say, what? You're thinking that this person's going to replace this? He was this and he was that? No, I'm saying that these are gaps that when they're saying that these are needs that still need to be filled. Shout out to my guy Connor Livesay, who was on the feed last week, and I bounced off of him with these needs that the Cowboys still were going in the draft. These will be needs still for the Cowboys, and I'm bouncing off of that because I feel like the exact same thing. So shout out to you, Connor. If you check this out, I wasn't stealing, just letting you know. But let's look at this right here. Check this out. Cowboys needs, and tell me if you agree with me right here. Cowboys needs. Tell me if y'all feeling me. Cornerback, edge rusher, wide receiver, slot, strong safety, linebacker, and offensive lineman. Now, I'm not saying you rely solely on these players, but these are the players that came through the draft and the free agency, undrafted free agency tip, right? So you got cornerback. Well, we got a guy they just got. We just talked about the Maurice Kennedy. We understand that he is not a guy, but I think that's a slept-on signing. I think he has a lot of potential. If you looked at his tape, he was very active in playing with the Baltimore Ravens at a good system, young player. When he only played like 40% of the snaps, if that, and still got 46 tackles, 1 interception. I like him. I think he's going to be sneaky. But we're not even talking about the Chris Restry kid. He had a whole full year on the practice squad. I'm not saying, rely on this dude, put this dude, and he's going to be the man. No. But when we talk about cornerbacks, and they're going to still draft a cornerback, it could be a C.J. Henderson, depending if he falls to 17. He's probably not going to fall that far because you got teams ahead of them. Atlanta Falcons, Jacksonville Jaguars, they have needs at cornerback position, so you could see him going that far. But I've been mentioning Jeff Gladney from TCU. He'd be a great addition for the Cowboys. But this kid, Chris Westry, that everybody was gung-ho about last year, don't act like y'all weren't gung-ho about him. Don't act like everybody wasn't excited about him until he got stashed strictly on the practice squad. Then you did not talk about him any longer. But when he was live and active in camp, you were wondering, what's up with this kid? I mean, I was out there at camp. He's a solid 6'4.5". Nothing but legs. I thought he was a pretty good cover. If you look at his tape, he was a decent cornerback, cover corner, but he did not like to tackle. But you had a full year on the practice squad to bulk up, get stronger, and learn. All right? So when we're talking about the cornerback position, yes, they will draft, but don't forget about that kid, man. Don't forget about Chris Restry, man. I'm not forgetting about a 6'4" corner with 4.3 speed. No, you can't forget about that, okay? You get what I'm saying? Look at these positions. So you're talking about an edge rusher. Yeah, they still need an edge rusher. But at the end of the day, you got a Joe Jackson. He was highly rated when he was coming out of Miami. I mean, he had a high pass rush rate. Not the greatest, quote-unquote, athlete, but he's one of them guys who Joe Jackson reminds me of. He's a guy who reminds me of like a Jim Jeffcoat. Not saying he's that type of player, but when I was watching the Cowboys back in the day, everybody was talking about the Ed Tutal Jones and the Harvey Martin, all those guys, but nobody talked about Jim Jeffcoat. But he was the guy that you never talked about, but he was always getting sacks. Also, Tony Tolbert with the Dallas Cowboys. You was always talking about that front line with Charles Haley, Russell Maryland, and all those guys along the line, but you never were talking about Tony Tolbert. But Tony Tolbert was a slept-on player, and he got them sacks. Joe Jackson could be that player. I think he's an active player, and the Cowboys staff liked him, and I thought he looked good in camp. He just didn't have a chance. Okay, now that whole staff is gone. Okay, so these guys are all getting a clean slate. Wide receiver slot. Cedric Wilson, people, I know Skywalker still, but Cedric Wilson, huh, man. But look, when he got hurt, I wish he didn't get hurt because when Amari Cooper got hurt, he showed up in that Jets game. To me, he had 5 catches for 40-something yards. John Vay Johnson, remember everybody was talking about John Vay? If he didn't have the drops that he was having, because that was his problem at Toledo, but everybody's talking about that 4.3 speed. Everybody was talking about these players that everybody's kind of throwing to the side. Strong safety. You're talking about they still need a safety in the draft? Well, you have one in Donovan Wilson. You have the secondary coach in Lindquist who was with him. You've seen the video I showed with Donovan Wilson. Linebacker, they got Jalen Jelks, Luke Gifford, and I'm going to show you the highlights of these preseason games. I'm going to just let y'all watch it while we talk about it. Offensive line, Connor McGovern, Brandon Knight, who showed last year, and Connor McGovern, who's coming off a redshirt year. You got Jalen Jelks coming off a redshirt year. Pretty much Luke Gifford coming off a redshirt year. Connor McGovern coming off a redshirt year. Pretty much all these guys on here are like a redshirt year. So you look at the whole 2019 class as a redshirt year. And I'm not even talking about Tristan Hill. You get what I'm saying? I'm not even talking about him right now. All right? So I'm gonna show just the San Francisco game while I'm talking. See if you can pay attention to me while I'm doing this as well. You can watch this game. You can see Luke Gifford. You can see Tristan Hill. You can see these guys that we're probably gonna need next year. They're gonna be in need for these guys next year. But watch this and try to listen to me and see if you can do it. Okay. All right. So what up, Ruglock? So when I'm talking about those players right here, and I'm mentioning them, you like I said before. Let me do this. Let me read some stuff before I go in here because I'm gonna show this game. Hold on, one quick. Let me go over here because I want to show you something right quick before I do that. All right, so now let's look at this right here. Sorry, I'm just switching some things right here. Now this is what people were saying. Pete Prisco, he's high. He's CBS. He's the guy. I like Pete Prisco. He critiques hard, but he gives good grades. And when you look about the draft grade the Cowboys got last year, Cowboys got high marks last year across the board. A lot of people liked the Cowboys draft last year. A lot of people liked Hill. They said, you know what, of the ability that Hill was bringing to the table. Pro Football Focus. Mel Kiper, I know it's Mel Kiper, but he still gave it a B-. Pro Football Focus. Gave it a below average. They were talking about they were too curious about Tony Pollard, the 2 running backs, but obviously Mike Weber's not any longer. But listen what it says. Miami, Florida edge rusher Joe Jackson was the team's best pick, day 3 pick. Jackson's 85.5 pass rush grade in 2019 ranked tied for 14th in the class. He totaled 54 pressures across the 286 pass rush snaps and ranked 8th in pass rush win percentage, 21.7 among qualifiers. You get what I'm saying? Now, and also, let me get over here. Now, let's see. Now, this is another guy who's Todd Archer, who I follow with ESPN. He's a senior writer for the Dallas Cowboys, and I listen to what he says because he's got the close beat with the Cowboys. Listen what they're saying right here. Yeah, that was a preseason game. Hey, ho, John Jones with the $20 holla. Donation. Appreciate you, John Jones. You a beast and you a monster, bruh. You a monster. I just want to tell you one more time, you a straight monster. You a monster. But let's talk about this though. Yes, Ruglock, that's the preseason game because guess what? We haven't get to see anything. It was a redshirt year, so I'm showing you a preseason game. I'm not saying, that we should rely on the preseason game. I'm just letting you watch so you can see the players that are going to be in the fold that we're going to need next year. Jalen Jelks had a sack in this game. Luke Gifford had an interception this game, and I think it's going to come up. But these players that we're talking about that the Cowboys need, they're talking about still need a linebacker. You need a linebacker depth. You got Jalen Smith. You got Sean Lee. You got Van Der Esch, who we still don't know about the neck. You got Joe Thomas, who they re-signed. But you got the young guy in Luke Gifford. You have Jalen Jelks, who they transitioned at linebacker, 6'5". Let's just read this right here. I'm going to go through and read this what Todd Archer said about the draft class last year, and then we'll just go through and watch some tape. And it's talking about Tristan Hill. And I don't know about y'all, but I get it. When he even says right here what he says, Just his tape. While the Cowboys had a chance to draft a safety with their choice of Juan Thornhill and Taylor Rapp, we saw what they did. We understand it. One of the things about Tristan Hill, he's a 3-tech, 6'3", 308 pounds. He didn't do a lot of work, but I'm not just going to give up on him. Now, I had Bobby Belt on the show, and I had Jeff Kavanaugh, and they said, hey, don't even talk about him. He's like a dead man walking. But why? Why are we just throwing Tristan Hill away? Like, what they say it takes about 3 years for you to find out about a player and the draft. Why are we just throwing Tristan Hill away? Okay? Just because he didn't play good under the last regime, that's the old regime. This is a new regime. This new regime, maybe a Jim Tom Sula, if they're keeping him, can get something out of him. I'm not just throwing a Tristan Hill away, 6'3", 308 pounds. He's not a bum player. He's got a great first step. The Chicago game when he got a few reps, he looked pretty good at that first step, but he just wasn't ready physically, and we saw it. And he was a person that you weren't ready to rely on. He needed maturity, so maybe that full year of him getting that year under his belt brings something out of him. But I do feel like Tristan Hill has some talent, and he has a good first step. Now you bring a Gerald McCoy to offset Malik Collins, who I feel like Malik Collins is a great pass rushing defensive tackle, but he doesn't stop the run like a Gerald McCoy does. And I don't believe he has the leadership that a Gerald McCoy has in the locker room. Maybe you have a Gerald McCoy and a Tristan Hill latches onto a Gerald McCoy, because it looks like to me a Gerald McCoy is a guy that'll put his arm around you and say, come here, young pup. I think you got some talent. Learn from me. And maybe that works right there. Okay, maybe that works, because I just don't want to throw away a Tristan Hill when you got that size and quick first step and you can still bring something out of him. We can't just say he's done and he's garbage and he's a bust. You just can't say that. And as I said before, when you brought him in, look who's gone. Robert Quinn's gone, Taco Charlton's gone, and Randy Gregory, who you have on the outside, is still not back, but he's a potential player. But here's the thing. You have Poe. You have Gerald McCoy. I think you're going to bring back an Antoine Woods. You're going to see with that, and then you can still slowly bring him along. You still don't have to force him in. And I think that's going to be a help, especially with the McCoy signing, because I think that's going to be a type of thing, a mentorship thing that he will do as well. And I really believe that. So let's not throw a Tristan Hill away and say, oh, he's garbage, he's done. That's a defensive tackle who pretty much was a redshirt year. So pretty much this is a defensive tackle player that if you put him back in the draft, you still would probably have him a good rating in the draft as far as his combine and the numbers. Now, Andrew Rodriguez, I worry about. I'm listening to what you're saying about the potential injury issues with Gifford, because he already had the ankle injury, and then as soon as he comes back, he breaks the forearm. You wonder that is he injury prone? I hope not. That's all I can say. I hope not. Now let's look. Slide it up here. Connor McGovern. If you threw Connor McGovern back in this draft, you need that Connor McGovern pick more than ever now. You need that pick more than ever with Travis Frederick retiring. Just think about Travis Frederick retiring. That's a great pick now, because he retires. You have Joe Looney, but you had Connor McGovern play guard at Penn State, and he started, once again, 14 games at center at Penn State, and he's a mauler. He's a big boy, okay? He's a 6'3", 315, 320-pound guy, and after a whole year in the weight room, he's stronger because he's a cock-strong guy. So you are excited about a Connor McGovern being here now, because now you're sitting there thinking it's more of a thing that we can just peg and pull, because you're trying to figure out what you're going to do with Connor Williams. You were trying to figure out what you were going to do with Connor McGovern. Who's going to play the guard position? Who's going to play the swing tackle position? Who's going to move here? Now you have more of a luxury, because you have a Joe Looney who played center, but he played guard as well. You can say, you know what? We want Connor McGovern to hit the ground running like Travis Frederick did, because guess what? Travis Frederick they thought was a reach, and he was a first-round pick, and he hit the ground running as a starter. And Connor McGovern was getting high marks in the OTAs and things of that nature. They were loving his knowledge. I like it, and we really should get excited about them picking him, because guess what? They don't have to reach and go into the draft, because you have a Connor McGovern who didn't play. So this is just like a draft pick to you. Tony Pollard. So obviously we're going to mark off Michael Jackson, but Tony Pollard. man, we already seen the explosiveness of what Tony Pollard can bring to the table. We saw him, he had 200-yard games once against the Rams and once against the Miami Dolphins, and you saw how much more dynamic the team was when they got Pollard involved. Now, a lot of people have been talking, we've talked about Mike McCarthy, how he transitioned Ty Montgomery, how he used guys that were receivers and running backs and things of that nature. This could be a situation where you don't put a Tony Pollard full-time at a receiver, but he played receiver quite well at Memphis. Once again, his people were said to, when he went to the Super Bowl, they were pushing him more at receiver than running back. This is a situation where you can really get Tony Pollard on the field more by throwing him in the slot, getting him more in some passing downs, getting him more in the screen pass game. You definitely run the ball with him because he's not a gadget play runner. He can run that ball and he can tote the rock. If you gave him probably about 20 carries, I think you would definitely feel good about a Tony Pollard. But we know Ezekiel Elliott is the man. But to get this guy in here, throw him in the slot, move him around the passing game. That's another passing guy element right there because he actually did play receiver in college and played it pretty well. Now, and you have a whole new system and you have a whole new guys. I believe the guys will really, I think McCarthy is really going to really get Tony Pollard involved in this offense like no other. We saw that it was more of Kellen Moore's pet cat, and we saw how the offense would regress or change up when it got tight. I think this is not going to be the situation when you have a McCarthy and a Kellen Moore together, and I think they're going to find ways to get Tony Pollard on that field, and I think he's going to be a lot more dynamic than he ever was last year. All right? Now, we mentioned Joe Jackson. So, and this is the take of, like I said, Todd Archer. So, Cowboys believe in building depth on the defensive front, but Joe Jackson, the second, fifth-round pick, will enter a crowded room. Now, the Cowboys have DeMarcus Lawrence, Tyrone Crawford, minus Taco Charlton. You still have Dorrance Armstrong Jr., minus Kerry Hyder, Randy Gregory, who will be coming back. So, but here's the thing. Jackson was productive with 24 sacks and 34.5 tackles for loss in 3 seasons. He plays more than power than speed, but he can close quickly. That is very true about Joe Jackson. Nobody's talking about this dude, man. Let's give Joe Jackson a chance. I think he could be. We saw Dorrance Armstrong Jr., and I still have hope for Dorrance Armstrong Jr. I still like him for some reason. I feel like he had a lot of close times when he got close to the quarterback, didn't make the sack, but I still like Dorrance Armstrong Jr. But this Joe Jackson kid, something about him, maybe it's because he played with Miami, but, man, he's got a motor, and he's just one of those guys that you're not going to talk about being the guy. He's not that dude that you're ever going to be talking about, in my opinion, but he's that slippy guy that can have 5, 6 sacks in the season. You're like, damn, did you know Joe Jackson got 6 sacks? What? He's that dude to me. He's just that dude. Let's give him a chance. We're talking about getting a defensive end. The defensive end position is not even strong in the draft. You would say Chasen from LSU would probably be the only guy that you would talk about in the first round. There's other guys that you can mix in later rounds, but this is not a great draft class for defensive ends, and you have one right here who's pretty much a redshirt who basically got no work. Now you got a new staff, and just like it said, 24 sacks in 3 seasons, 34.5 tackles for loss in 3 seasons, and he does play with power, but he does close quickly. He does. Let's give this guy a chance, man. Now, and we're talking about we need safety, right? They still need to address the safety position. Xavier Woods coming up for his contract. You got Ha Dix, who you got in. He's a bridge player. They re-signed Thompson. I don't think he's nothing more than a backup, and he can special teams as well. But everybody's been talking about Donovan Wilson, what he did last year. 3 interceptions, looked great in the preseason, had a little bit of an ankle injury, basically got no work. But guess what? You got Maurice Lindquist that's in the fold that was with Donovan Wilson. Donovan Wilson has some stats over there at Texas A&M. So now you're looking at, well, get a Grant Delpit, get a McKinney. Why can't you look at Donovan Wilson? He didn't get any work last year. And he's a player. I like Donovan Wilson. I liked him. I made a video, not a video of it, but I made a video before he got drafted, and I said there's something about this player. When he got drafted, I said there's something about this dude. I said I don't know what it is about Donovan Wilson. I said, but there's just something about him. He is super intense. When you watch when he got drafted by the Cowboys, he put his heart and soul into everything he was saying. Like, I'm going to show y'all. I'm going to make y'all understand that this meant everything to me. Why are we not talking about this Donovan Wilson kid as the safety position? You want to go out and draft a Grant Delpit? That's fine. You want to go out and get a McKinney, but you don't have to jump out there and reach when you got a guy like this in the fold who you not even seen, and he is a player. What up, Ready Red? What up, K Swagger 33? Hey ho, what's up with you, big dog? K Swagger with the $2 holla. Salute to you. I get the arm for you right there, big dog. I love how you always come with that arm pose. I appreciate you, big dog, and I appreciate everybody who's contributed to Silver and Blue Nation today and beyond. I love all y'all. But let's keep talking some football now. So what are y'all thinking? Now, are y'all feeling me? Now, listen, y'all give me an answer right quick. Y'all give me an answer right quick. Tell me if y'all feeling me about this. This 2019 draft, if it steps up, are we excited about that? I mean, Tony Pollard had 86 carries for 455 yards, 15 catches for 107 yards. Not a lot. And like I said, we look at what these guys do to the fold. And let's look at the measurables. Jalen Jokes, 6'5", 256 pounds. I like Jalen Jokes. I wrote an article about Jalen Jokes about how much I liked him. I think Jalen Jokes is a sneaky player. I really, 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 really like Jalen Jokes. Okay? I really want him to do good. If he could play linebacker, and I was talking about him playing linebacker, and I'm excited that they have him as listed as an edge, but let's see him as a linebacker, because when they drafted him, I was like, okay, I went at that and looked at that Oregon tape. That dude has played every position along the line. He was playing a damn near one. He was playing the 1 and the 0, and this dude was undersized, 256 pounds, playing the edge, was getting swallowed up, and still was getting sacks, still getting like 8 to 7 sacks, still batting balls down, all-out motor. I think he has good athletic ability, and man, if you could stand him up, 6'5", 256, I wrote this article about him, and he got a full redshirt year. Man, I'm telling you, this Jalen Jokes kid, I'm just excited about him. I'm sorry, I just really am. I'm really excited about Jalen Jokes. What up, Sheila Neal? What up, Stevie Mack? I feel you, Ruglock, but do you get what I'm saying? See, when you talk about a Justin Matabike, you still got a Tristan Hill in the fold, so you don't have to jump out there and get a player. You can, but it makes it. This is what I'm saying about if this 2019 draft steps up. If the 2019 draft steps up, now you're feeling good about a 2020 draft because you don't feel like you're reaching. You're getting best players available because you already got players who have not even played last year. It's not like you seen these players last year and they were all bums. You weren't looking at this class like, man, these dudes were terrible. Damn near all of them redshirted. You get what I'm saying? Damn near all of these guys redshirted last year. And I'm going to show you some of this San Francisco game. Yes, it's preseason. I know. Just watch the game because I like Luke Gifford. Hope my internet ain't acting up. But as I was saying, as we can see, yeah, man. If you see my internet freezing, our Wi-Fi is acting up. I don't know what it is. I apologize for it's being slow. But you get a good cornerback because you see Luke Gifford making that tackle right there. Look at that, 6'3". Sorry, I'm sorry we don't have a Lumba no more. I wish they still would have kept him. But as you watch this preseason game. Here's the thing, y'all. You should get excited about. Look at the positions right here now. As we're going through this, Tristan Hill's playing in this game. All the young guys are playing in this game. Tristan Hill's playing in this game. Michael Jackson was playing in this game. I wish we would have kept him. Look, Justin Marshall, as you see Tristan Hill right there. Darian Thompson's in there. And as I said before, this is a redshirt year, guys. This is a redshirt year. You should be excited about the team that you have coming in front of you because, there's that interception by Luke Gifford. Watch this. There's that look. That's what's going to get you excited. Everybody was jumping up and down. I think he about to throw because mine is trailing because my internet. Bro, let's watch this right here. Luke Gifford just got this interception. Everybody was jumping up and down. We talked about your boy getting all those INTs. Donovan Wilson. But watch this. That's what you got excited about, Luke Gifford. Stay healthy, Luke. We liked you. 6'3", 200 and some pounds. I think it's right after this play right here. Big hit by Kerry Hyder Jr. But I want to see Luke Gifford. I want to see a Jalen Jelks. I get excited about that. I don't know about y'all, but I do get still excited about that. I want to see what Tristan Hill can do in year 2 with this new staff of Jim Tom Sula. You get what I'm saying? New linebackers line, new linebackers coach, the George Edwards of the world. You know what I'm saying? I want to see what these guys can do with this crop. And if this 2019 draft steps up and does anything that we want it to do, then you're feeling great about a 2020 draft. Those are luxury picks for you, dog. And then I think even on the offense, you got Adam Redmond playing in this game as well. So when you're talking about the depth, the Cowboys did do good and do well with the depth because I'm not saying Adam Redmond is some world beater, but he is a center. There's that interception by Gifford right there, but he is a center. You got McGovern as a center. You got Looney. You got option. You still got Connor McGovern, who you playing at guard or tackle. Brandon Knight, who played very well in that Jets and Minnesota game, you could be your swing tackle. You still kept Mitch Hyatt. So you have your offensive line, your guys who you had last year and your guys this year, you have some things that are looking good for you. You get what I'm saying? So I feel good about this 2019 class stepping up this year. And if this 2019 class can do what you halfway wanted to do, man, it makes that 2020 draft so much more of a luxury. Yeah, I really didn't want to lose Donovan Olumba. I really liked Olumba. I know he didn't have the speed, but I liked him. And I didn't like that we didn't give Mike Jackson a chance. That was another young cornerback who you could have just kept on the roster. You didn't have somebody poach him. He could have grew with you. You got Michael Jackson out there for a reason, right? And there's John V. Johnson right there. I mean, everybody was screaming about, hey, ho, Jawan James with the $10 holla. What up with you, Jawan? How you doing, family? You get what I'm saying? But damn, I really didn't want to lose a Michael Jackson. I didn't want to lose him because I thought he still could have been a player for the Cowboys. If you could have kept him on the roster, I believe he had good size, he had long arms, and you would have had this new staff. So I really don't like that they lost Mike Jackson. Mike Weber, I understand, didn't want to lose Michael Jackson, but once again, Tristan Hill, Connor McGovern, Tony Pollard, Joe Jackson, Donovan Wilson, Jalen Jelks, that is not bad. And then considering you still have Chris Restory, who's a big long corner. You have Luke Gifford, who was undrafted and looks really good in the short. Guys, 2019 draft, step up. We're feeling really good if the 2019 draft comes to the forefront, if you ask me. You trying to clock out? I feel you. But I think let me get to something right quick. Wow. So how do y'all agree with me? Tell me if y'all feeling me with what I'm talking about. That 2019 class comes together, and let's not throw them away. Man, you're feeling really good about the Cowboys if this draft step up. Tell me if you're agreeing with me. Give me an amen if you're feeling me. Just give me an amen if you're feeling me. Give me an amen if you feel me. John V. Johnson, don't throw him away. I know, but remember everybody was screaming about him. Ooh, 4.3 speed, fast, whatever. Don't throw him away. They kept him on the roster, didn't they? They didn't get rid of him, and he do got that speed. His hands is just terrible. I was just watching him play, man. He's got that speed, dog. Like I'm just watching him again. He got that speed. Give me an amen if you're feeling me. If you're not feeling me, just say, hell no. Then I know you're not agreeing with the church. Okay. Amen, amen, amen. You feel me? Let the church say amen. Let me get some Jalen jokes in here. Where was he at? All right. I got a lot of amens today. But we'll just kind of leave it at that today. Basically, just want to talk about this 2019 class and how much, if this 2019 class can be effective. And let me just show you this one more time before we get out of here. I'm going to show you this one more time right quick as you're watching some of the game. When they're talking about Cowboys needs cornerback, edge rusher, receiver, slot, strong safety, linebacker, O-line. Cowboys have all of it. Chris Restory, Joe Jackson, John V. Johnson, Cedric Wilson, Donovan Wilson, Jalen Jelks, Luke Gifford, Connor McGovern, Brandon Knight. They have everything that we are talking about. So let's look at this class. Let's hope this class takes the next step, because if this class, the 2019 class, takes the next step, 2019 draft is going to be feeling so much lovely and feel so much luxury because they're not going to have to jump out there and reach. You get what I'm saying? So think about that. We'll be talking to you soon. Tomorrow we got the where we at? Tomorrow we got the late night hype tomorrow. Make sure you tune in. Myself, Skywalker Still, and my guy Law Nation. We're talking the late night hype, and we're talking about everything that's going on in Cowboys news. And getting ready for this draft. We are going to be having a live mock draft. We're putting some stuff together right now, so make sure y'all stay tuned and pay attention to this. We're having a live mock draft. The day of the draft, we're going to have our own mock draft ahead of time, and then we're going to do a live draft show. So we're getting all that together. We might have like an all-star cast, Law Nation. We're trying to put down an all-star cast together with that. So please make sure you stay tuned and for that. So if you see my computer is behind, it's lagging, so I apologize. Our internet is acting funky and wild out here, so I apologize for it doing that. But that draft is going to be hot. And if you don't be tuning into CBS or NBC or NFL Network, because they ain't going to care about the Cowboys, and they're going to be talking about the Cowboys. We're going to go over all our picks just like we did a couple years ago with myself, DDP, Law Nation. Myself, DDP, and Law Nation, when we were out there in Texas, we did a live draft when LVE got drafted, and I thought it went really well. But now we're going to do another one since this is not going to be anything as far as actual people. There is going to be remotely cast. But if you want to find out about Cowboy stuff and what the Cowboys are looking like, get in here with us so we can all kick it. We'll take your picks, your thoughts. We'll have a poll up front. We'll all kind of have a poll. Everybody's going to vote. We'll see who kind of goes with that vote, and we'll see if that pick happens with the Cowboys. 17, 51, however, if they don't trade out 82 and things of that nature. So it's going to be everybody involved. It's not going to just be us. It's going to be everybody involved. Everybody's going to have a vote. We'll take a full vote. We'll go with that, and it's going to be hot. So make sure you guys get prepped for that because that's going to be hot. Make sure you tune in tomorrow to Silver and Blue Nation, Big Game James, Law Nation, Skywalker Still for the late night hype. And if any news goes down with Dak Prescott or anything else, make sure you stay in tune. Y'all feel me? And it's going to have a good time. And make sure y'all staying safe out there. I love all y'all. I appreciate everybody. Appreciate the donations. Appreciate everybody that jumped into the feed. Please take care of yourselves out there. Please take care of yourselves out there. I haven't had any family members affected by the coronavirus that I know of yet, but I do have a few friends that have been affected by it. But please stay safe out there. Don't be out there hoarding at the grocery stores. Be normal. Be safe. Be normal. Stay inside. We got this quarantine. Let's get this. Let's get this thing done and over with, so we can have football. I already was mad as hell that basketball got canceled. High school basketball got canceled. My league got canceled. I already frustrated all this stuff that got canceled. Let's not let them cancel football too. So people, listen, do what you're told. Stay inside. Don't go out there kicking it. Do what you're told. Stay inside so we can get this damn thing over with, so we can get to ready to play some football. Because I'm not dealing with no NFL now for a whole damn season. I'm not trying to deal with that, like, at all. Like, it already hurt me. NBA was gone, and college March Madness was gone. I can't deal with NFL football leaving or college football leaving. Y'all gonna trip. So get inside, stay inside, so I can watch football. Okay? All right. So I love y'all. Appreciate y'all. I'll talk to you soon. Big Game James, Silver and Blue Nation. I'm out. Deuces.